Welcome back to day 9 of our journey to 2000 ELO and chess.com. So first of all, I'd like to start off by saying thanks a lot for all the nice comments yesterday. I haven't gotten around to responding to them just yet, but I will hopefully do so today. Anyways, let's just jump ahead here and find an opponent. We're at 1553 ELO, our highest rating thus far. We've been going up and up for a while now. 13 wins out of our previous 14 games. So we'll see if we can manage to win today against Bambanti from the Philippines. Rated 1387, so if we win today we get 4 points, and if we lose 12 ELO, which is a lot. That's a whole lot. Let's go for this. It's funny here when I'm saying this, we're playing against a kind of opening here, which I think this is what we've got the worst win percentage against, those King's Indian defenses, but I think we should still be in an okay spot, hopefully. In some positions, I know f3 is decent here. I don't quite know all the theory here, but I think we could go for this and hold this pawn. Could also potentially look to team up with the queen and trade off this bishop. So let's go for it. We're in a normal variation here of the King's Indian defense. 3 pawns in the center. I think our opponent here might know the theory a bit, but hopefully shouldn't be all that bad for us. As for our light squared bishop, where does it belong? Now that's a difficult one. Do we just go to e2 here? We probably have the option of going there. The problem is f3 could be interesting in some idea positions maybe, and if we go f3 we can't bring the knight here or here if the bishop is on e2, as this would kind of prevent us from moving the knight. So then could come up maybe. But then we're just neglecting our king side, which isn't ideal per se. We could come out here though. Yeah, let's develop the bishop further out. I think it's probably okay. My intuition told me this move, but I want to play for the option of going f3. So we'll keep our options open here. Our opponent castles. We could go here maybe, looking to get in this way. We might have the option of queenside castling, but most likely we won't. Perhaps we could have h4, looking to start an attack. And if that's possible, or playable rather, if we end up doing it, well then we might just end up castling queenside if the possibility is there. Although I'll make sure I don't get too blindsided by the idea, which I've done before. This, I don't love it. This is played though. I think we might be quite happy here by just closing down the position like this. And then we can start focusing our attention here on the king side, or potentially the queen side. We could go like this, and start launching some pawns. I think we'll just push here, grab the space. I don't think this was good, like go like this, allowing our opponent to get in and get activity. This is probably better, I think. I think we can ignore this pawn. If takes, we just take. At least I think so. We don't have to trade off here yet, I don't think, because we don't really risk losing this, or rather having this bishop open up just yet. So instead let's just develop our knight. Is this good? I don't see where we're going from there actually because of this, and we can't go here. So let's go here in fact, which might even support f4, and it supports the knight, and we have some more mobility. Our opponent takes. Do we take with this pawn? I don't think we go here. We might do so, but somehow it doesn't quite convince me actually. Because if we go here, or well, actually, it might be decent. Because we still have connected pawns on the sides here if we should want to. And we get a strong outpost, and if this is played, we can just take, and I think we're pretty okay there. What gets annoying here for our opponent is our option of just jumping in, and if they take our knight, I don't think it matters all that much. Importantly here, this bishop is acting like glue in the position, at least until we potentially play moves like this. Another quick opponent, almost 15 minutes at move 10. I think we are probably a lot better off here, although I don't know by how much. What I'm thinking about here is our development and our space advantage. This bishop, for example, is a ways away from getting into the game, at least 2 moves. This knight, if it goes here, I think we can just take. Our opponent takes our knight. Now we have to make a decision. Do we go here or do we go here? I think we'll go like this. Or will we? The problem here is this move is annoying, and this pawn gets a bit weak, but probably we can defend it. Let's say we go here, this is played. Oh, I see. Then if it's played, we can just take, because the rook can't take, because it loses material, so our opponent would have to take with this pawn in front of the king, which looks horrible. Looks absolutely horrible, so I think we can do this for now. H4 is looking more and more interesting, as I think at some point here we might just be prying our opponent's king apart. Although I know, typically speaking, in the king's Indian defenses, we as white are supposed to play on the queen side and our opponent is supposed to play on the king side. This has to be bad, right? What I'm looking at now is if we just take, we have an isolated passed pawn, or not isolated, a defended passed pawn rather. So this looks quite convincing. Our opponent likes this here. Let's see, say we get this right. Then how do we follow it up? Still don't love this move, but I think we could go here even. And once again, if it's played, our opponent would have to take with this pawn and destroy their king safety. I don't know if this is correct or not, but my intuition here tells me this looks pretty okay. This might even be a move. Coming like this. If this is played, then I'm pretty sure we go like this. And if takes, we take, and probably will be locking our bishop in like this between the pawns. Our king should get castled. Yeah, it's kind of awkward in that regard, but I don't think it's incredibly important just yet. I think we could try and apply some immediate pressure. But do we need to move the queen first, or do we go here even? I think I've killed off the idea here, or rather I don't think as much about queenside castling now, because the c file is open and whatnot, so most likely we'll be castling here, but we could start off with this move. But if this is played, we can still go here and do the same thing, and our queen would remain here defending this pawn. In response here, honestly I'm expecting b6 from our opponent, defending the pawn like this. It's played. But here I think b4 even. This looks quite good. And here we get activity. And we've still got this strong pawn here, which looks quite promising. Castling might still be a move, but I want to get the initiative here, because if we give our opponent one move, then f5 looks strong. If we kind of disallow that from happening, I think we're probably quite happy. So let's just go here as well first, and this brings the pawn out of harm's way along this diagonal, should it open up from, let's say, this move. We should probably castle soon. 2 or 3 moves, and most likely we will. Our opponent takes this, and this might be played. Then I think f3, and if takes. But then we can castle. How about takes here? I will just start off by taking this pawn, I guess. This is likely to be played. And if it's played, now we get h4, or h5 rather, but I think this is good for us. This is a good sign, because now f4, f5 here becomes difficult to play because of, well, the king just being incredibly open then. So I think this is probably a misunderstanding of the position by our opponent. I might be wrong, but I think this is a really good site for us. So let's castle. I think we have the move now to do so, or the time rather. King to h7. That's a weird move. Don't quite see it, but okay. Is our opponent dodging something? Honestly, I can't tell. It might try to prepare for this move, maybe? By getting the king out of harm's way to some degree, but yeah, still I don't quite see it. Would like to get in here. But, well, the queen can take. We can't get here or here. The rook is defended. But I would like to get this rook into the action along this file. So how about... I was going to say this, but then the bishop gets to develop for free with tempo. So most likely, I think, not quite there, maybe here. This is probably okay, preparing for this. Just getting our pieces into the game here. and it defends this as well in certain positions. Still, this is maybe coming. Didn't quite see it from our opponent here. Do they want to trade off rooks maybe? Might be the case. But then I think we have this move now. And this pawn is not targeted, so this just gives us control here along this file. It also kills off pawn mobility for our opponent. So this can't be played and this can't be played. We're not defending this pawn, of course, but if this is played, I think our plan is still going to be this and just keeping the pawns here with this powerful pawn on d5. Let's do this, preemptively kind of preventing our opponent from playing what they want to play. Still, this bishop here isn't doing a whole lot, but of course it could shift over one square and be useful. It does so, kind of mimics our own idea here of killing off the option of doubling up. Can we go here now? Would force the rook to this square. I don't quite see a whole lot of follow-up there. We can't go here now, of course, because of the bishop. Was thinking of going here. This is undefended now. And we could add some pressure by following up with this move. Just want to make sure there is no discovery, but honestly I can't quite see one. If this is played, most likely I think we'd have to take. This might be played, but then we get in here, which looks quite powerful. So I think we'll be coming in here. This seems threatening to our opponent. There is no check by the bishop to our king. Wrong color complex. Likely this is our idea now. Don't quite love our knight's positioning. Mostly because of this pawn though, so if we can deal with the pawn, I think we're probably quite happy. It's currently targeted, so I'm expecting it to get defended. Only it could get defended by means of playing something like this maybe, as I mentioned, which would force us to take the queen, and then we don't have eyes on the pawn. Still considering f3 here at some point. This would be bizarre to see played. Would defend the pawn, of course, but the king would kind of cry there, so most likely won't see the move. We're down to 5 minutes here, our opponent still has 12, so we'll have to be a bit careful. I've got sore muscles. Just recently, a couple of days ago, I got a membership for the nearest gym and haven't been training certain muscle groups in a long time, so it's definitely felt for sure. And this is played. I didn't expect this to be played at all. Well, kudos to our opponent. They find the move, and as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure we have to take the queen. Was considering other options, but I don't quite see any. At least none that convince me. So let's take, but still we do get the rook into here. But then our opponent could just move this rook, for instance, here, and we can't quite double up and support the rook. Or no, we have this bishop, of course, so they can't. Forgot about it. Now this here targets this, which is quite nice. Hits this. We could even go to e7 here and hit this e5 pawn. For this rook and the knight, we'll have to find some position, some decent idea there. Glad to see this bishop can't go here, which would be annoying because of our bishop still being along this diagonal. Could this be played? Probably yes. And honestly, it looks slightly annoying, but it can't be played now because of this. I think... no, we can't go here either. I wanted to go here because we could push the pawn, supported by the rook, but of course this bishop now kind of prevents us from doing so. So honestly, all of the bishops here are beasts. But we've got a horrible knight, so might not be all that good for us. This now hits this bishop, so it could be an interesting way of getting our piece developed. So we could go maybe here, here, and I don't quite know where, but we could get our knight active by means of hitting this bishop with tempo. Most likely the easiest move here for our opponent would be king over to g7, just defending this pawn and centralizing a bit. Yeah, so this idea, probably okay, but honestly this might be good as well. And if takes, the two pawns are looking strong, and this looks really powerful. This pawn can't come up and defend because of our rook. I think we'll be going for this actually because it kind of forces development in our favor here. It opens up this rook with coordination together here with this rook. And it kind of... it simply just seems to add up here in our favor. And if our opponent doesn't take, well, 3 pawns like this looks quite crushing. Good thing here is our opponent's rooks can't really play the game just yet, I don't think, because, well, they're stuck behind pawns without any chances or options for mobility, and the only open file is controlled by our bishop. This still isn't possible because of this. This isn't possible because of this, so I think we're just really happy here. Our opponent takes, we will be taking here. We could even come here, this is a threat because of this. This is a creative defense here. Didn't quite consider it actually. Now this is annoying, but it's not necessarily all that bad. We can't go here though because this can be played now. So most likely we'll be seeing this. I feel like our opponent is playing really well here. But can we go here maybe? Yeah, this looks good. Oh, never mind. There is this. So maybe not. We might have to take, which I definitely don't like. But this is just a really good find by our opponent, so it is how it is. Can't do a whole lot about it. Let's take. We don't have unlimited time. now then, might try to reposition the knight here. And maybe get in like this, might be an option. I think our knight is our weakest piece, and this here opens up our rook as well. Still, this isn't playable. We could see this though, which could be annoying. So if this is played, do we go e5? Maybe? It looks okay, and if this is played, we just push. The bishop here. Can't really hit a whole lot as well. Essentially, all of our stuff is standing on dark or light squares, but well, it could go for this check, I guess, and force us over to h1. And then there isn't a powerful follow-up move, but I think it might be a slight improvement for our opponent, centralizing the bishop for 3. But the rook comes up, and I think we can just push this pawn, as I mentioned. But however here, I think this is probably better because it takes away this option as well. Yeah, I think that's probably good. Kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, as I like to do. This, we just push. This, and don't quite know what we do there, but we'll have to find some option there. This could still be played, and might look a bit scary, but we could just maybe jump in then, which might not be all that bad. The bishop almost looks trapped there, but it could go this way. Don't think we're pushing this pawn anytime soon. This is pretty even. We might even be looking at a draw at some point. Hopefully not though. We like to play for wins. Okay, so our opponent here wants to trade off the bishops. We could go here maybe and just slide in this way. I think it probably looks okay. Now we hit the rook here with tempo. It might go here, and then we might just follow up by going this way. Still, I think this kind of an idea here looks pretty okay. Just getting closer and closer to 2 potential queens. We don't have the king there just yet, but we'll have to see what we do about the king. The knight, where does the knight belong? That's still the most difficult question here, I think. I don't love the options for the knight. We could have the knight on f3 maybe and supporting a pawn here. This. If we take... Problem is I don't love what happens. Oh no, that's bad because of this. Never mind. The question here if we stay behind our pawns or if we go to the side here and try some other kind of activity. I think this is probably okay, right? And if this is played, well, we might even go here and try and replace the piece. That would be good, maybe. Yeah, let's go there. I definitely have to say kudos to our opponent thus far. They're giving us a run for our money. They might still want to trade off the bishops, not quite sure there. But we get this move, okay. Hitting the knight. Do we just jump in this way, maybe? Might be an option. Then there might be bishop to c4, hitting the a2 pawn. But then I think we can get our rook. No, maybe not. This, and maybe we just go here. But now this pawn here is defended. Well, it's defended by the bishop as well, but I thought if the bishops were traded off, we would have to defend this pawn with the knight, so as to play this maybe. Don't love the king on g1 here. Honestly, we're looking kind of pressed for space here. Our opponent is just finding all the moves I'm looking at. A3 maybe. I think we'll be going for the move. This now, and most likely we would have to go some place like here or something. The bishops are looking really strong. Luckily this isn't playable because of the rook. I would like to get rid of one pair of pieces maybe, but I would like to trade off our knight for a bishop. But if we have to trade off the bishop for a bishop, then I guess we'll have to do so. This isn't a move now, but this or this, definitely options. Well, of course not this yet, but this could be started off, and well, our rook there is kind of, or well, in general, all of the squares are covered by bishops, so it looks kind of scary there. This might be a move though, because our king can't get targeted there, because only piece that can target it is this bishop. Wow. A5. Okay. So where do we go now? We can't go here, of course. Can't go here. This loses the knight, so most likely they do this square. Yeah, it seems to be the only square, because this loses the knight as well. So we'll have to go here. And then what? Does our opponent keep pushing pawns, maybe? We could look into going here, maybe. Getting rid of the bishop at some point. Don't quite know. I still want to go king to g2 here. Looks like a good improving move. Knight here might be good as well. This covers this square. I think maybe d4 might be the best square for the knight at least. There is stuff going down here and here, so we need two things defending the pawn. This is becoming a long game now. We're down to 2 minutes, our opponent is down to 4 minutes. Is this playable now? Certainly looks annoying. I think we might have this move there and the bishop can't defend the pawn. But if we see this, or this is played, okay, but now I think we have this. Probably at least. And if this is played, we might see stuff being traded off, but that might not be all that bad. Could give us a target. most likely we will see this. Then we'll just have to pile on pressure onto this pawn, while also making sure our own pawns maintain or are kept, or making sure they are still threats. We could go here maybe. Let's see, this is played. And then we're just getting hit by the rook, I think. Oh, this is played. I'm just impressed here. Definitely impressed. I guess we'll have to go here. This will be played. Yeah, because we don't have a lot of options here for the rook. So let's slide on over this way. Essentially forcing this move, or so I thought, but dropped a piece. Wow. I didn't see this at all. This is really bad. And we're first over here even, because the bishops are beast. Wow. We'll have to cash in something though in response. But is there this? Surely not, right? No, I think we can go here then, which should be okay. So we'll get something back for the piece, but this suddenly became really difficult. Now this pawn is defended. At least we can get up here with our king. Didn't expect this move though. Isn't this good for us? Or is it not? I think we'll be centralizing our king. If there's one piece we need now, it's going to be the king. Now I think we can go here, which forces our opponent's king back. Would like to get here. This might be good as well. This could force a draw. No, this is defended. Never mind. Defended by the bishop. But how about going here maybe? I think that's undefendable. This forces this, and this might force this maybe. So maybe it's playable. I think it looks okay as well, at least. This might be an overextension here forced by us, so our opponent might not be all that happy. It might be good though. Honestly, I can't tell. But if we force this move, then this pawn here can't get pushed with support. The pawn is pushed. Maybe centralizing still. No, but there's this discovering an attack against the rook. Okay, so let's dodge that by forcing this first. So we're not standing along the diagonal there. Now it's going to be this or this. I think we'll be going here maybe. Getting the king to the center. This bishop here is just a real beast. It's definitely not worth only 3 points at this point. This here is a champion. We don't want to trade off our rook. We could maybe try and force a draw here, because we're just in a worse spot here. I don't love it, but we might go for a repetition. Oh, no, our opponent does not want a repetition. Found a way here of improving their pieces. Okay, we'll have to come back. But now this is a move once again. Or maybe not. We'll have this, which is a check. Honestly, I don't know here. This is really difficult. Could try and force the bishop out. It could get defended like this, maybe. There is always this move as well, which could target our h-pawn, after which we might have to push it. Oh, this is certainly annoying. This even looks really strong. How about going here maybe? Then rook to c7 is annoying. I honestly can't find moves here. This, and this maybe? I guess might be the best plan that I'm seeing. And then the rook can't try to be traded off. This might still be a move here. Then I think we have this maybe. Then there's this, and that's a check. Oh, our opponent went for this, which I'm really happy to see because it gives us the b file. This could be good here though, because of this pawn. But if we go here, the king is likely to go to e7. We've got half a minute left. That's not a lot of time. Let's start off by going here, I think. Might first with the king here. We don't have this. Oh no, this is still defended, never mind. We'll push the pawn. This is weak. I'm just surprised. That's all I have to say about this. I'm just missing the moves here, and our opponent is finding them really quickly. Might not be as concentrated as other times here, but this one, I don't know how we prevent this pawn here from winning. We can't target any of the pawns here. We can't get our king up. We might even have to come back all the way here to defend our g-pawn. No, that's going to lose our rook to the bishop. Here then maybe, but this, and we don't have any ways of defending this pawn here, I think. I just can't find anything for some reason today. As I mentioned, it might just be because I'm not all that concentrated today. Yeah, this is played. Guess we'll have to trade off this pawn for this. So let's go here. Then this might be an in-between move maybe, defending. No, it's defended like this. But now we have this, I think. Oh, at least one pawn. We will be losing this pawn, but I do still think we have some play here. It's just really difficult to find it. Let's go here, maybe prepare our e pawn to push, while also targeting this pawn. This could just start pushing now though. We've taken away this square, which would support the pawn though, so that's good. Our king can't get in because of the rook cutting us off. If we get the pawns further up, it might be good, but we can't really do a whole lot unless we get our king into the game. I think this is a welcome sight though. Now the king does get in. Let's stay on light squares. I will just push the pawn. Trying to make some progress. It feels kind of bizarre here still playing this for what looks to be a win. Or well, not really, but we can hope. The problem here is if this is played, our opponent might just have an isolated passed a pawn as well as an isolated passed h pawn. Let's come up the board. Oh, there's this. I'm just blind today. That's not good at all. Definitely not. I guess we'll just have to come up. Not a whole lot we can do about it. This pawn is falling, but we'll just have to play with our pawns as well. How about this? But then we can get clicked back maybe, so we could come here maybe. The king goes there. We can't target a single pawn. We can't go here and prepare this. I guess we'll just try and walk up here. But this is kind of annoying. We would have to come back, I guess, to defend the pawn. Well, this is played. Okay. We can't move our rook because... oh well, I didn't see a move there. I was going to say we can't move our rook because it has to stay defending this pawn, because our king can't do so now. This might be played, but this is oh wow, our opponent just played us geometrically there. Now we can't defend the pawn. And this is... I'm just getting outplayed here. We'll still try and see here if we can get something, although I'm really struggling to find good ideas. Let's maybe try and force the bishop back. Oh, we lost on time. Well, I think that's about it for today's game then. We'll have to analyze this and see. I don't quite know when we lost. Might have been initially when we blundered the rook or the bishop or knight. It was a piece at least. But anyways, thanks to Babanti here from, was it the Philippines? Yeah, for the game. Let's jump on ahead into our game review and have a look. So we played with, wait, it says black and white. we were white, never mind. So this is us. Don't know why it tells, I genuinely don't know why it doesn't tell us the names here. Well, either way, we played as white and got 81.6. Our opponent played as black and got 85.5. Really nice game here. Let's have a look. All good stuff till this point. This wasn't all that good, maybe because of this. Yeah, it was, but our opponent didn't play it. This was bad, should have went f3. Wasn't punished. Once again because of this move, which our opponent didn't quite see. This was all good. Yeah, this is a good move still. Castling was slightly better. Well, this wasn't good apparently. But it's still equal. Glad to have seen this was correct. Should have went here, I guess. This was good now. I thought this looked good at the time. Apparently it was to some degree, but because of this move apparently. But honestly, I can't tell you why that's the case at all. This move suggestion seems bizarre. How is this a move? Oh, I forgot about this. Or, no, what? Wait a second. What did I forget about? It is this move, but why? Oh, it's because the rook opens up. Okay, that makes sense. Didn't quite see it. Still, this is quite okay. I guess we should have pushed the pawn here instead, though. But still, we're in equality. And this was bad. Should have went up with the king already. Oh yeah, because it was defended by the knight. But then if we go here and this is played, then we just lose the pawn, right? So I don't quite see why that's good going here then. I guess it's because of... Yeah, but the pawn here is defended, so I don't quite know. This, we should have still went up with the king. This was good. Well, this is where we just appear to have lost the game. Should have went here to defend the knight. It should have been obvious at the time. Didn't quite see it though. So went here and lost the knight. Still, I thought we might have some chances here, but our opponent played really well. Found a lot of correct moves. We got to centralize our king though. Should have went here apparently. Don't quite understand it because this bishop still defends the pawn. So I thought we just had zero activity then, but apparently it is still better. This was good. It seems we're just getting strangled in this position here. We got some chances here, I guess, of coming up. But we should have went here then. Yeah, because then the king doesn't get into d6 then, which became our main issue. This might have been good. And here we lost some time. And now I can't really tell what our opponent's name was, because chess.com for some reason is not telling us the names. But anyways, thanks to our opponent here, they played really well. This was a deserved win by them. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, guys. This has been a long video today, and a really nice game. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your days, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.